Felicia, it was so funny the other day. I was flipping through the channels on my television via the cable, and I saw something so wild. It was these two animals, and they were chasing each other. And I know, you hear that and you go, that could be a million different shows
is that
right
like
now.
Nat Geo? Is that, what are we talking about?
Yeah. No, it was a plump little mouse with eyelashes that ascend to the heavens.
Uh-huh.
And then a cat that is blue.
That's peculiar.
That's peculiar. And it got me thinking, is there a universe out there where all dogs are big and red and all cats are blue? And I'm pulling from Clifford the Big Red Dog. I realize not everyone might have made that leap with me and would have been like, what the literal fuckling? Clifford the Big Red Dog.
I was like, okay, I didn't know there was a dog involved in this, but that's fine.
I am up on that Dayquil right now. I am up on that Excedrin.
Yes.
My face was over a boiling pot of water for 10 minutes leading up to this. My cavities are so open. It's insane. Things we don't put on our Bumble profiles, everybody. Okay, just take a note. Okay. But anyway, I saw the blue cat and the mouse, and they just kept hitting each other. And I just was like, why do we let this, happen? And then in my mind, I'm like, the mouse should probably be dead by now. Like, this is the circle of life. Why would... And
they should both be dead multiple times over.
Yes. How are they still alive? Because they've been on forever. But the weirdest thing was that all of a sudden, I thought I had accidentally taken, like, an edible or something, because I started hearing some singing from a musical we all know very well, Felicia, here. It was from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and I was like, "This can't be right. I'm not watching this and seeing the cat and the hat."
Yeah, you thought you
Wonka
had like accidentally done like, what is that, the Dark Side of the Moon, playing it to Wizard of Oz, but it was playing the Willy Wonka soundtrack along to a Tom and Jerry.
Yes,
yeah,
but Felicia, that was not a hallucination. That was not a fabrication brought on by drugs. That was real fucking life.
And it's real because I've also seen it.
We were there in our own dream hallucination together.
And it wasn't a dream. It was just us on Amazon, unfortunately having to pay $4 to rent Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. A 2017 release, which is the thing that fucks with me most.
2017?
Why is this so recent?
2017?
Did you not know that, Elaine?
I mean, I could tell that it was recent because the animation was definitely updated, but 2017?
Yeah. It's like, why? Why the fuck was this made in 20... Like, who made...
What brought it up, I mean, I did see
this happen?
I saw they had a Wizard of Oz one, so maybe it was just a series, or like, let's go through all the big ones.
No,
I would have thought, when you do a promotional thing, usually there's like another... Like, if the Wonka movie was coming out and then this Tom and Jerry thing came out, fine.
Yeah,
but why
I would have accepted a 2009. I would have accepted a 2009.
A 2009 actually is a really crisp year for that. Yeah, I could see it.
2017 is fucked up.
It was actually kind of a fucked up year. Anyway, today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Tom and Jerry movie, and it's so good. There's so much good plot, so many good new plot things to discuss.
It's
and to
totally
analyze.
Not a shot-for-shot remake, but Tom and Jerry are there, and there's a weird fucking mouse Oompa Loompa. That's
correct.
It's definitely not what this film is.
It definitely doesn't read as weird boomerang fan fiction. It's so good, and the singing is gonna just have you shitting yourself with rainbows and candies.
I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I've like regretted starting this podcast. Like, not as a joke. When I was like, God damn, I gotta rent this. And then once I was 10 minutes in, and I was like, I have to sit here and watch this whole movie. This movie, I guess the one benefit is this movie is great to put on if you have a chore that you've been putting off doing for a long time. Because I put this on and then immediately said, I need to balance my bank accounts, and was like, immediately started budgeting.
Anything that makes a human want to budget
yeah,
to such an extent
I was like, I need to be budgeting. I can't watch this. I need to be doing something with my time. I can't have just sat here for an hour and watched this fucking movie.
You don't want to be on your deathbed and be like, that 2 hours I regret watching
that hour and 19 minutes.
That 2017 shit show they put on the screen that I paid $3.99 for. I never got that back.
It was fucking cruel because if you look up on Amazon, you look up Tom and Jerry Willy Wonka, it says, oh, it's on Amazon Prime with a subscription. And then they fucking lied to me because it wasn't.
I have a quick life hack for everybody out there. If you really want to watch this, there is a Boomerang free trial. I learned this after you told me you had already watched it, Felicia. Otherwise, I would have told you. But I'm going to tell everyone here because I know they're going to be.
You're going to be like, chomping at the bit. You got to be. You're going to go going crazy for this.
So many, like the cliffhanger at the end. Am I right? Wink, wink.
There's.
The only cliffhanging is if you want to throw yourself off the cliff and you decide.
I'm going to be honest. I think I paid about 8% attention to this movie.
Meanwhile, I paid very intense attention and took notes, which is just it fits. It fits that this.
Yeah, it fits that this is the one that you went like that for.
Yeah, well, this is because I was having a rough work day, and like basically I have to book people for things, and I had like 3 people cancel on me yesterday after 5 p.m. for today things, and I was a very defeated person, and I thought, what could make today even better? Let's take a nice little mental health break and watch this masterpiece. So it's feisty. I got feisty. I know it's been a little chill lately from me. It's gonna get feisty today. So before we even begin that, let's bring it back to something frothy.
Frothy and fresh, except it's not fresh. This is like certifiably old Wonka Watch.
Wonka Wappuccino.
This is shut up. This is some deep aged Wonka Watch. So it's a nice
going down to the cellar. Ooh,
do you smell the nutty flavors of the aged Wonka Watch? I don't know why I put a V there.
Oh yes,
I got this. I could not find anything for this fucking Wonka Watch, and then I remembered this that came in my inbox like 2 weeks ago, which is they basically published this handwritten letter that Gene Wilder sent to Mel Stuart about his thoughts on Willy Wonka's costume. Ooh. And I just thought it was fascinating because, wow, Gene Wilder had some very strong opinions. So I'm just going to jump into this. Dear Mel, I've just received the costume sketches. I'll tell you everything I think, without censoring, and you take from my opinion what you like. I assume that the designer took his impressions from the book and didn't know, naturally, that I would be playing Willy. And I think, for a character in general, they're lovely sketches. I love the main thing, the velvet jacket, and I mean to show by my sketch the exact same color, but I've added 2 large pockets to take away from the svelte feminine line, also in case of a few props. So, like, he was, like, redesigning the costume.
People just want pockets in their clothes, I think is also just a continuing theme in life.
I also think the vest is both appropriate and lovely. And I love the same white flowing shirt and the white gloves. Also, the lighter colored inner silk lining of the jacket. What I don't like is the precise pinpointing in place and time as this costume does. I don't think of Willy as an eccentric who holds onto his 1912 dandy Sunday suit and wears it in 1970, but rather as just an eccentric, when there's no telling what he'll do or where he ever found his getup, except that it strangely fits him. Part of this world and part of another. A vain man who knows colors that suit him, yet with all the oddity, has strangely good taste. Something mysterious, yet undefined. I'm not a ballet master who skips along with little mincy steps, so as you see...
Sorry, that was... I thought you were about to add your own commentary there, and I was wow, Felicia, that's so poetic. Where are we going? He said that.
No, he wrote in the letter...
Sorry, I love this. Yeah, keep going. This is amazing.
One of the most passive-aggressive letters I've ever read.
I know, I love that. Yeah, this is great. Oh my god.
I'm not a ballet master who skips along with little mincy steps. So, as you see, I've suggested ditching the Robert Helpman trousers. Jodhpurs to me belong more to the dancing master, but once elegant, now almost baggy trousers, baggy through preoccupation with more important things, is character. Slime green trousers are icky. But sand-colored trousers are just as unobtrusive for your cameras, but tasteful. The hat is terrific, but making it 2 inches shorter would make it more special.
I love the idea of this being like the cover of
Also,
17.
a light blue felt hat band to match with the same light blue fluffy blow tie shows a man who knows how to compliment his blue eyes.
Jean.
To match the shoes with the jacket is Faye. To match the shoes with the hat is Taste. Hope all is well. Talk to you soon. All my best, Jean.
We could have had some kind of like felt 1980s blue tux moment. Oh boy.
With slime green trousers.
If I dressed head to toe to match my eyes, which are green, I guess I'd be wearing green. That was the thought there. Great, good one. I was like, well, that'd be wild. I love how, first off, he clearly put a lot of thought into Willy Wonka. Yeah. We know that, but it is very polite sass. But like, Jean is such a soft person. Like, I wouldn't want to be, I'd be like, oh, that hurt me to my core, but thank you. It makes sense.
It's the line of to match the shoes with the jacket is Faye. To match the shoes with the hat is Taste.
Yes.
Hope all is well. What the fuck?
I was like,
that's my entrance line on RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, what are we doing?
There are like definitely some tote bag quote moments throughout that entire letter.
Me with a tote bag that says slime green trousers are icky. I want a tote bag that says I'm not a ballet master who skips along with little mincy steps. Because that would be incredible. Embroider that on my throw pillow, okay? Put that on the back of my car.
Genuinely give me $10 million and I will make an entire fashion line out of this one letter from Gene Wilder. Thank you, Anna
All
Wintour.
of our merch is just based on this fucking letter.
Nothing else. One letter for the rest of this thing. People are like, oh, wow, that's so clever. Is that a quote? You said no, Gene Wilder. And they're like, oh, were they all Gene Wilder quotes? Yeah. From the movie? No.
Yeah.
No.
When we sell letter. Appropriate and lovely vest. Special hat that is 2 inches shorter than originally thought of.
That's why it's collapsible, so you can make sure it's the right side. Oh my god, that's such a happy...
We sell once elegant, now baggy trousers.
Which, see, I really felt that. Once elegant, now... that reminded me, like...
sand-colored trousers. Oh. You'll love these because they're unobtrusive for your camera, but tasteful. But yeah, so today, unfortunately, we have to move on from that beautiful letter. That's the most exciting thing this episode, but...
Oh, I am going to argue there. I think this is the best movie that ever was. See, I'm really good at lying because I grew up quite depressed and people wanted me to smile, and so I danced the monkey dance for them, and now here I will.
I did do a little bit of background research because I'm me, so...
It's shocking to think that humans actually created this and it wasn't just shot into us from the universe. Like,
yeah, there were people who had to sit down, and this was their job.
People with money said yes to this.
Yeah. So it was made in 2017, straight to DVD release. The official title is Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. In case you ever want to watch this, I do not recommend. So it's in a series of films for Tom and Jerry where they're just like thrown in to media that Warner Brothers owns. So other ones are Tom and Jerry and the Wizard of Oz and Tom and Jerry meet Sherlock Holmes, and then surprisingly Tom and Jerry back to Oz. So I also personally just wanted to add, I hated Tom and Jerry as a kid because I was like, why are they so mean to each other? And I just felt really bad for both of them, and my opinion has not changed now. Mm-hmm. I think the most telling thing from this film, which is what made me go, oh god, when I realized we had to watch this, was Wikipedia had a reception section on this, and the movie was met with a negative reception, they said, with some critics questioning why the film was made. Then it linked to a few articles that were absolutely absurd titles. So let me read you some of these. Tom and Jerry continue to decimate cinema with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie.
Jesus.
Polygon. Warner Brothers will stick Tom and Jerry into anything, including Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Cartoon Brew. Tom and Jerry should not meet Willy Wonka in a feature film. It's an abomination. Jezebel. My mad descent into the hellish void that is Tom and Jerry, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Gizmodo. So, like, people had been talking about how this thing is fucking weird and just not, why does it exist before? So I saw that before going in. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
And they're not wrong. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But for someone who's consumed Charlie and the Chocolate Factory related piece of media so many times, the story's already getting old. and to watch it again with Tom and Jerry, a media I don't like. It's not fun for me.
Yeah. My question here is, Felicia.
Yeah.
Usually when we do media breakdowns, we go through the plot. Are we going to briefly go through that? Because I think it's very important to note how identical to the 1971 movie this is. Because like in the beginning with that intro, remember when we first saw it in the 1971 movie, we were like, why are they making chocolate sexy? Why is this so hot? And then in this one, they do the same animation, but instead of being sexy, it just looks like poo.
Okay.
Yeah,
so basically it starts out with Tom and Jerry nope, not wanking. Jesus Christ. Oh, good Lord. That's a very different film. That's a fan fiction. It's a fan fiction.
Oh no.
No. Whacking each other with like big pieces of wood or something. I don't know. That's how most Tom and Jerry plays out.
Yeah, they are.
I didn't even think about how that could be bad. Fuck you. Sometimes this podcast is really hard. Like, it's really hard to be a host on this podcast, guys. And I think you guys, like, I put a lot of it's really fucking hard.
Oh my God, it's so easy. What are you talking about? It's really fun being a co-host for Felicia. This is great. It's a good time. I just get to be like, what the fuck did you just say?
Okay.
Sorry.
Tom and Jerry are inflicting bodily harm on each other.
Sorry,
you can't.
No, I know. I'm just laughing because you have to keep saying something new. Yes, they're inflicting bodily harm on each other. It's very violent.
And then they run into the candy store, and the Candyman scene plays out literally exactly the same as from the first film, with Tom and Jerry running around. But bafflingly, they re-recorded all of the music, so it's worse.
And when we say like recreate it, like down to the choreography of where the kids are, what candy they're pulling,
I genuinely
the lollipop
think they might have
dancing.
rotoscoped it, like drawn over the frames of the movie. I kind of wonder if they did.
Oh, I wonder too. That would make sense. And these are people that usually animate classic Tom and Jerry. The animals are animated, obviously, and the humans you don't see above their like legs. Okay, and they dabbled into human faces, and it did not go well. I'm going to tell you that. Felicia, I took a picture of every single Charlie Bucket face we have, and I will send them to you to remind you.
The Charlie Bucket faces are fucking terrible.
They were the most insane thing I've ever witnessed. But
I will say,
so
the actual animation quality is pretty good.
Yes.
Like, it's well animated, but the designs are a choice a lot of the time. You can tell when they get outside their comfort zone. That's what I'll say.
Eyeballs, cheeks. Yeah, those are great examples. Yeah, that was beyond them.
So then Charlie saves, so Tom and Jerry are like fighting against each other, and then Charlie's like, why are you gonna kill that poor little mouse? And then throws a newspaper into Tom's mouth, and then gives them both bread, which was for his starving family. And I'm sorry, I would not have given that bread away. I would not have. These are animals.
He started it off with, well, I bought this bread for my family, but how about you guys have it? I was like, what the fuck? Who? What? In what world do we not think Charlie's a fucking dumbass? Like I was curious to see how these versions of the characters, and
Charlie gives them a fucking business card.
Yeah,
why does he have business cards? That was my question.
That was a good one.
What's the cat gonna do with that? What's he gonna do with that?
But apparently they can read and write. Is an important thing to note throughout this whole thing. But oh God, yeah, it's my first favorite Charlie face is shown during the candy shop scene, and I've just put it in the drop zone as a reminder for you, Felicia.
I knew this one was going to come up.
Yeah, Charlie, for the most part throughout this film, has wide eyes, and he looks like a ventriloquist doll, I guess.
Yeah, he very much does.
Vacant.
What is
eyes,
Tom doing over here, though? Jesus Christ!
No, see, that's the other thing. There was a lot of disturbing things. Yeah, Tom is in the background with evil eyes. His tongue is out, and he's just lurking behind Charlie.
So then Tom and Jerry are like, we're gonna steal Wonka bars for this kid because he likes them a lot. And then I was
because they see Charlie is sad about it and blah blah blah, and they're like, oh well, they got us bread, let's give him a Wonka bar. It's very sweet.
The Wonka truck driver is a bulldog. So I just had questions about the Tom and Jerry verse. Like, are normal people personified animals? Like, is that normal? This bulldog talks, right?
Yes, this bulldog.
So why can't Tom and Jerry? There's just a lot of questions, and we don't have time to get into it. But I just needed to get it out there. So here's the part that I know probably freaked you out. Tom gets pulled through a window, and his legs get stretched out to be about 4 feet tall.
Yes. And
he looks like a fucking spider. It's horrifying. And he stays like that for like 4 minutes of this movie.
Yes. Yeah. I spent a stupid amount of time trying to think of a pun between Tom Hiddleston and Tom on stilts as a cat, trying to make a name for him. So I had Tom Kiddleston, Tom Stiltsum, and it didn't work. It's like,
that's a lot of moving parts.
If someone else out there can let me know if they figure that out for me, that would make me complete as a person, because it's been bugging me ever since. I hated that. You were absolutely right. I was like, oh,
Elaine's going to fucking hate this. Because I didn't like it. That was the interesting thing. Did we see stretched out Mike TV in this movie?
No.
That's what I mean. I think this was it.
Something worse happened in that TV room, though.
Yeah. Yeah, God. Fucking TV room.
Possibly the worst TV room experience in any of the canon, which is also kind of shocking.
So to show how different this film is, and then so Tom and Jerry, they take the box of Wonka bars back to Charlie, and he's like, "You can't steal them, put them back," which I would not have questioned it.
Oh my God, no! They were like, "Did you buy it?" And it's like, why would you?
He's like, "I'm sorry, guys, we can't break the law."
And in classic fashion, Grandpa Joe's like, "Yeah, let's cite it up," and then Charlie's like, "No," and Grandpa Joe's like, "Oh yeah, okay, I don't think they bought it." Yeah, Charlie, you do girder.
And I guess, like, to show you guys, like, the level of innovation in this movie, get this. Instead of having a weird math teacher, Charlie has a weird science teacher.
Oh my gosh, so unique. And they're creating, like, a little potion to, like, deal with warts.
Yeah.
It's so
then
cool.
The golden tickets get announced, and then they're like, surprise, Augustus Gloop gets one. And the news scenes are shot for shot the same. Can we talk about Augustus Gloop's voice? Because it sounds like you could have voiced it.
I wrote in all caps, what the living hell demon adult is voicing this little German child right now?
Can you do an impression of it? Because I think it'll sound exactly like it.
Oh, God. I mean, I have to... Hold on. Let me... I'm trying to even remember it. I'm in Augustus Gloop.
That was like exactly what it was.
It is I, Augustus Gloop. Like, my actual other Augustus Gloop impersonation was shockingly better than whatever the fuck that
exactly.
was.
If you listened and said, it can't have been that bad, I assure you it was that bad.
It was. I know you're thinking, wow, it's such a big budget. Apparently not.
Yeah, so Slugworth is, like, comically villain looking in this. Like the most villain looking character you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And they did the Paraguay casino owner fake out, which is weird, but they did it with Droopy Dog, which I don't know why Droopy Dog showed up twice in this. Do you know what Droopy Dog is?
I really don't know most of the sentence you just said. I don't know what the casino...
So do you remember in the 1971 movie, Mel Stuart wrote in this guy who was in Paraguay who faked having the last golden ticket.
Oh, sorry. That I genuinely thought I like tuned in to thinking you were talking about an indie movie that you knew from like Eastern Europe.
No.
I understand. Yeah, the fake guy. Yeah, I thought the Droopy Dog, they were all the classic Tom and Jerry characters. I'm glad they still have acting jobs. But
yeah. Slugworth is like really German in this. I don't remember if he was in 1971, but in this one he's really German. But I'm gonna say I have one good thing to say about this movie, and that was Slugworth's song. I'm sorry, that shit slapped.
I actually got that too. So it was like Slugworth singing Veruca's song. But
so Slugworth has a song which is wild, but it is just a slightly modified version of Veruca Salt's song. But it's good.
It's good. It works really well in that like moment.
And the sequence is actually really interestingly animated because it's a bunch of paintings on the wall. And then there's one point where he turns into a cockroach. And I'm like, wow, I didn't expect you to go Kafka with it, but you know, thanks, Tom and Jerry. And then here's what happens. Charlie is so baffled. He's like, what the fuck is happening? Because Slugworth comes out and is like, hey, kid, can you help me find what is it called?
The everlasting gobstopper. Oh, did we mention this? So there was one part actually I'd like to touch on really quickly.
Okay, yeah.
Before Charlie opens up that chocolate bar and sees the golden ticket, I have never in my life been so physically like the way that Charlie opened that candy bar, the animation they did. Did you see the thumbs in the
I don't think I watched it. I think I was zoned. I think I was working on my budget at that point.
Physically backed up because it looked like it was like the only thing I can think to compare it to is if you put a pregnant pig on her back and you took your thumbs.
Whoa. Where are we going? I don't think I could have guessed where that sentence was going for like 4 years.
Whatever. It was just really disturbing and it was like stupid animation. It made no sense. It was just like the wrinkles weren't in the right place and it like did things that physically it shouldn't have been able to do.
It was like a pregnant pig that you put on with her belly.
It's like a pregnant pig on his back, So I absolutely fucking hated that. And that is, I don't know, that really fucking ruined everything for me at that point. I knew it was bad and that really ended it for me. So when you go watch this.
And then, is Charlie so baffled because Slugworth's like, you need to get the everlasting gobstopper from Wonka for me. So he pours water on him, like the Wicked Witch of the West. And then Slugworth gets pulled down a fucking sewer. That part is so fucking wild. Like, why did he get pulled down a sewer?
But here's the thing. It's when they, weirdly enough, the best parts of this movie are when they don't follow the exact canon. And you're like, what's happening?
Agree, because I actually don't mind that part. I think it's funny. I think it's good. Great. It's just, I don't really like Tom and Jerry. And I don't like watching the 1971 movie, but worse.
Yes, but worse. Charlie's mom has resting seductive face.
Yeah, she had an interesting character design. She kind of had a Miss Piggy vibe to her. She kind of looks like a Bratz doll.
Yes, she does.
She really looks like a Bratz doll. That's what she reminded me of, which was just an interesting choice because I was like, well, hello.
Oh, and visually, Grandpa Joe looks like Geppetto if he ate vegetables as a child and was tall.
Is that a positive? Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that like derogatively.
Oh,
you look like you ate veggies as a child, fucking nerd. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what, you had money growing up? Bitch. No, just visually describing.
Yeah. So we get to the gates of Wonka's factory, and we get the role. Of course, we get the role. I will say, this movie did fake me out because I thought, oh, well, surely Slugworth can't be working for Wonka in this one. He's so obviously a villain, just trying to get Charlie Bucket. But no, he is still working for Wonka. He's just very committed to the role.
Yes.
He had me convinced. Because I was like, there's no way he's singing a song if he's working for Wonka. That's too much work. No, apparently. This man will get shoved down a sewer for Wonka.
I wonder if Tom and Jerry, Wonka, Slugworth are actually more of a thing then, because I know that was a theory we had kind of before, like if he was the only other person around in the factory, How did you we're at the factory gate. We meet all those kids for the first time. How do you feel about Violet Beauregard? I was thinking about that the whole time. I was like, what is Felicia's take on
I don't have any different take because it's exactly the fucking same as the 1971 movie.
Wonka in this fucking thing.
Yeah, Wonka's character design is fascinating.
It's like a little closer to Mark Wonka than I was comfortable with.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the Wonkas. It looks like if you put them all into a vat, this is the guy who would come out. In the way that he's like made of clay and Play-Doh and looks a little funky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like when you're like, oh, I'm going to make a really cool color as a kid and you put all the paint together and it just gets murkier and murkier. Yeah, and it's not black, but it's like this weird,
I actually think this Wonka, unfortunately, is the closest to the voice I do for Wonka on the podcast, and I hate that.
I did write that down, Felicia.
I could have voiced this Wonka.
You could have voiced this Wonka.
So if you want to know what this Wonka sounds like, just think about, hello, children. That's it.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Augustus Blue.
Jesus.
I have little hand pies in my pocket.
Okay,
Yes, mother.
We have to move on. We have to move on. So Tom and Jerry, they break into the factory, I guess, to help out Charlie.
Yeah, because they realize that Slugworth is doing all the nasty stuff.
Yep. So now we're introduced to Tuffy, the Oompa Loompa intern, who looks exactly like Jerry, but wearing little suspenders. Mm-hmm. And he's a mouse who wanted to be an Oompa Loompa real bad. And Tuffy can talk, but Jerry can't.
Mm-hmm. That is, I believe, that gray mouse, that is just a canon thing in Tom and Jerry stuff, is that gray mouse is very idiotic, bumbling, very baby talk, and always it's like Jerry's cousin or something usually, and Jerry has to deal with this idiotic cousin. So it kind of fit, and I've always hated that mouse, and I continue to hate that mouse. And there's so many layers with intern Oompa Loompa. When it's clearly there are, to be clear, actual Oompa Loompas in the movie. They're not like mice.
Yeah, no.
Which I thought they might have done.
So what it is he just wants to be an Oompa Loompa really bad. So it's confusing. So Tuffy's like, we can go in this shrinking tunnel. Or we can go over here. It's a shortcut. I know this factory really well. And then they get in the shrinking tunnel. He's like, I don't know where the fuck we are immediately. And then they make it to the chocolate room. And Tuffy's like, by the way, Wonka hates cats. Cool. Fun character trait. Which is funny because you'd think he'd be a cat person. But
he's got that vibe. Ferrets.
And then we get the entirety of the Pure Imagination sequence. Literally shot for shot. He even plucks out one of Mike TV's hairs in the animated version. I'm going to be honest, I skimmed through this. I did not sit through this sequence.
I started skipping because the only thing that would happen is you would cut to Tom and Jerry hiding and just slowly eating candy as the exact same thing is happening.
And I was like, I have absorbed so much. I cannot waste life minutes on this. Mm-hmm. So, things happen. Augustus falls in the river. Charlie does try to save Augustus in this version, which was cool. And then Tom also falls into the chocolate river. Cool.
Tom is thrown into the river.
No, is he?
Because Tuffy goes, you got to go save him. I don't know why I made him like a little Cockney orphan there.
Tuffy's not British.
Oh man, you gotta go save him. And Tom's like, what? I can't swim. And Tuffy goes, oh, you can't swim? But they already threw him in there. I'm like, so if it's already contaminated by humans and you were trying so hard to be an Oompa Loompa officially.
Literally, there's so many fucking health violations because they all end up in the chocolate river. And I'm like, the disease is in this chocolate.
The diseases. Tom is a street cat in this version, okay?
Yeah.
Disgusting. Nice. Ugh.
And then they don't get sucked up the tube. That's not a problem for them. Augustus goes. It's very over and done with very quick. Mm-hmm. Then we get the Oompa Loompa song, and it's literally unchanged from the 1971 version, even including them being on the Zoom window with the text. The text is there. The shitty. This was your opportunity to do something new and do something interesting. No.
Yes.
No, we can't have that. We need the children want it to be one-for-one shot remake. So then they get on this little boat Tuffy made, and they go down the tunnel, and then Tuffy delivers there is no way of knowing whatever direction we are going, that whole thing, and he's screaming, doing the whole Wonka thing, and it's so fucking weird because it makes me question, does this tunnel have this effect on people?
It was, I thought there would be some joke at the end who was like, I don't know why we do that, but we have to do that every time we go through the tunnel. There wasn't. He just randomly does it, and you're like, what the fuck? And the tunnel scenes are a little different. Slugworth still shows up, but they don't show an animated chicken head getting chopped off.
Yeah, there was shit I don't know, Rubik's
stuffed
cubes,
animal dog barking, just floating.
it was pretty. Endlessly. It was a little tame.
So it was a little weird and kind of unnecessary, if I dare say so myself. Because yet again, they didn't need to go on the boat as well because the boat had left without them. They could have gone on their own weird journey through a different part of the factory to catch up with the tour. Instead of doing the exact same thing we've seen.
Yeah. So we get to the inventing room. Violet chews the gum. She mentions tomato soup, but she unfortunately does not say tomato basil soup. I can feel it dripping down my throat. So the streak has been canceled. I mean, this isn't part of Wonka canon, so I think it's okay. It's not a major adaptation, so I think it's fine. If it happens in the musical, I think it's still on.
It's okay.
Again, Violet did nothing wrong, but we know this. And also, here's the thing. Wonka in this version has literally no redeemable qualities. anything fun about him has been squeezed out and just turned into this annoying fucking dick. Like, just this stickler of a man who's like, I don't like cats, and it's annoying that you got some blue fur on my wallpaper.
He also has personality. No personality whatsoever. Like, it's weird.
Tom and Jerry break Wonka's gobstopper machine, which feels like a huge problem that just completely gets glossed over. In this version, they did say, you know what, let's keep the scene where they drink the fizzy lifting drinks, which is a choice. It's, whatever.
Boring.
Tom and Jerry end up flying around like hot air balloons with the fizzy lifting drinks, like their big bellies are exploded. And so here's the thing that we didn't mention. So the delivery driver from the beginning, who was a bulldog, who got mad that they stole the Wonka bars from the store, works with Slugworth. And then he drinks a fizzy lifting drink, and Slugworth rides on his back as if like he's a tank. And then they go through like the back alleys of the factory, and there are these peppermint spikes on the floor for foreseeably no fucking reason. Like, no reason. Like, these super pointy spikes made out of candy cane, just like in an air duct.
Right.
Are those growing organically? Did he say, you know what I want in my air duct? Peppermint spikes. So it always smells like peppermint. Actually, no, he would do that. Fuck.
Black mold wishes, am I right?
Black mold wishes she could. But I will say, I did appreciate getting to see some unique parts of the factory. Like, we got to see the candy mines, which Tuffy did mention were thousands of feet under the factory, which means that Minus Land does exist in this version. I'll be honest, I wish they all fucking went to Minus Land. This movie's
I would have loved that. There was a scene at one point, and I don't know when it happened, but like there's some stuff of Nightmares in his, where Tom's face is ripped off by a lollipop.
Yeah.
That one sticks with you.
There's one part later in this that we definitely need to discuss, which is actually coming up. So the geese aren't real. I just wanted to say that real quick because of our argument before. These geese clearly aren't real, Elaine. So they still have Veruca's song, which becomes a duet between her and Slughorn, which again, fucking slapped. I'm gonna be honest.
You just said Slughorn. You just said Slughorn.
I think I've been saying Slughorn for too many parts of this episode.
I think it's been Slugworth for the most part.
Really? Has it?
I think that was your first Slughorn. Yeah, that was your first Slughorn.
Okay.
Did Elaine correct you again?
I don't know.
I hate it for me.
Yeah. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. So here's the thing. So she gets thrown down the trash the chute. And Wonka's like, oh, the furnace only runs on Tuesdays. But maybe it is a Tuesday. Or it only runs on Mondays, but maybe it's Tuesdays. And her, Veruca Salt, her dad, Tom, Jerry, and Tuffy all fall into the furnace. And yes, it is Tuesday, and it is on. But they manage to escape, all except for Tom, who gets locked inside the furnace and burnt into, I'm not joking, a pile of ash.
And eyeballs. Just whole eyeballs.
Yeah, a pile of ash with eyeballs. Then he is thrown into a chocolate bunny mold. And then they uncase the chocolate bunny, and a fully formed Tom bursts out of it like an egg. What the fuck?
What do we do with that?
Like,
what do you do with that?
There's got to be no health problems in this world. If you can just get burnt to pieces and put back into a chocolate bunny and reborn.
Because
if we found the cure for cancer. We have to burn you into a pile of ash and throw you into a chocolate bunny, and then you burst back out of it. What the fuck is going on?
I hadn't even considered how fucked up that was until you just really laid it down.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn.
So then we get they're watching Slugworth via security cam. And here's we get to the Wonka fucking the television room. So we're in the television room. Do they even show the Mike TV thing happen at all?
They do. I skipped ahead. But it's very basic, same thing.
Very basic, very brief.
They rushed through it because they clearly were also bored by it, which to me, the TV room has never been that exciting of a scene because it just takes you too out of it to present day. But this one really stood out.
Yeah.
For the fucking shit that goes down.
So they watch Slugworth via security cam, and then Tuffy pushes a button and captures Slugworth and the other guy into the Wonka vision, okay? Which is a capability we didn't know it had. Eventually, they all get zapped by the Wonka vision, and there's a David Cronenberg's The Fly-esque sequence where they all keep weirdly combining.
And by all, we mean Charlie, Grandpa Joe, Mike TV, the mom, or did they leave already at that point?
They left
Wonka,
already.
I don't like literally everyone.
It
the
was
cats, the mice.
It was Charlie, Grandpa. I don't think Charlie and Grandpa Joe were there.
No, they were, because Charlie ended up with 4 legs at one point, and Grandpa Joe was like fused with Wonka's body.
Okay.
It was literally fucking horrifying.
So it was Charlie, Grandpa Joe, Wonka, Slugworth, Tom and Jerry, Tuffy. It was fucked up. Then Wonka, then we get the whole, oh, Charlie, go home, blah, 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 blah. And then Wonka, and then they come back, and then he's like, oh, my boy, Charlie, you've done it. You've proved your loyalty by giving me the everlasting gobstopper. And then it's revealed that Wonka sicked Slugworth on him. And like genuinely whatever. And then Tom's like, I'm not fucking over this, which honestly, I agree with him. And he's like, give me this fucking remote. And he's trying to like shrink Mr. Wilkins and the bulldog down.
Yeah.
And then Tuffy was like, no, Tom, you can't kill them. And then Tom was like, fucking.
Yeah. I highly enjoyed that.
So they get into the glass elevator. Tom and Jerry take fizzy lifting drinks to follow the elevator. Tuffy gets promoted to full-time Oompa Loompa. And then we get the same ending line where Wonka's like, do you know what happened to the boy who got everything ever wanted? He lived happy ever after. And then Droopy Dog shows up again and it's over.
Wonka is like, oh yeah, you can move into the factory. Oh, and you know what, Tom and Jerry, you can too. He's suddenly okay with cats.
He's suddenly way too cool.
With cats.
Which is funny because Tom and Jerry have put on nothing but cause chaos. Why?
Why would you?
Yeah.
Well, I can't. So, and to me, Felicia, I don't know what to make of this Wonka. And I would also like to make a note. This was the first note I made after watching the first 10 minutes of this movie. Technically, I get that they're in it, but Tom and Jerry and this Wonka are not actually part of the Wonkaverse. They will show up in the Hunger Games next one we do, because I want them to die the most brutal death that has ever existed on that show.
We know who's going out first in the Willy Wonka Smash or Pass. Good Lord.
Well, I didn't say that.
Elaine's like, well, there's something to be said for a hate fuck.
Yeah. That's going to be a fucking wild episode.
I'm excited about it.
But yeah, I don't want you guys to think we're going to be like talking about Tom and Jerry all the time. This is possibly like, ugh.
I hope we never think about them again.
Yeah.
So I guess any final thoughts about this fucking shit show?
I think that this was clearly just a cash grab. I'm kind of shocked because I'm sure they had to fork over a lot of money to just rip off the entire 1971 movie.
They're owned by the same people.
Oh, never mind. That makes sense. I think what I feel bad for is for the kid who was only shown this and had no idea that an actual other Willy Wonka film happened. And here's the thing. They could go for many years without anyone knowing because it's the same film except for a few changes.
That's true.
And
you would not miss much.
I imagine this person finally turns like 32 and they're having a conversation and just one little detail is slipped and someone goes, what are you talking about? And then that's when they learn that there was an actual human version of this and it's a huge thing. And I don't know what you do with it at that point.
They're like getting involved in like, who's your favorite Wonka, Gene or Johnny? And they're like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
I only know one who looked like a guy who sold insurance.
Yeah.
And was animated. I have a quick question real quick. This came up to me while we were recording. Who do you think is the Tom and who do you think is the Jerry out of the two of us? And why are you Tom and why am I Jerry?
I was about to say that I'm Tom. Yeah. So
yeah, it's because have you seen us?
Have you seen us? I am Tom, you are Jerry. Yeah. I guess, yeah.
We don't need to elaborate. I just wanted to make sure we were in agreement. My actual question, I pre-prepared, is if you could have like Wonka crossover with a media that you'd actually want to see it crossover with, what would you pick? And I don't have a response prepared.
Yeah, you do. It's Succession.
That's fucking true.
There we go.
Correct.
If I had to choose, I would. Oh man. Would it be where we would be going through the factory again, or just kind of having that blend? Because I'm thinking,
just whatever you want. Just whatever you want.
Oh, babes. Man. Well, like, Baby Elaine would have been like, get Balto and Willy Wonka together. Mm-hmm. Save smallpox and give out candy. That's all I'm saying. Was it smallpox? No.
I don't know why. I'm going to say, I want a VeggieTales Willy Wonka.
Oh, I would take that.
I'm so sad they haven't made one, because that would have been my favorite episode. To clarify, I am not Christian, but I fucking love VeggieTales.
Okay, if you guys
love VeggieTales,
if you have never seen Lord of the Beans by VeggieTales,
oh my god,
I can't tell you. It's a parody of Lord of the Rings I've ever experienced. It is well thought out. It is
that's
funny.
Why I wish that one existed for Willy Wonka, because it would be the best Willy Wonka parody. Like, there's no question. And it's something they totally would have done. I've Googled multiple times VeggieTales Willy Wonka because I'm shocked they haven't done it. You know?
Same. That's such a good point. God, that would be so good.
So, I mean, time's not up. I guess we have to go to predictions, because I want to watch the Drag Race finale. And
and my sinuses are starting to close up.
No! That's Tuffy getting stuck up there. He thought it was an air duct.
Get the fuck out of there, Tuffy!
Tuffy fucking sucks.
Predictions, man. I think I had one thought of when I was watching it, and then I think my brain deleted most things following that.
I actually wrote one ahead of time.
Oh, girl.
My prediction is, in Wonka 2023, Timmy Wonka will display some amount of kindness to an animal.
Oh, I love that.
I feel like it makes sense. It's a way to give character. It's a way to make people likable, and, felt right.
When humans don't accept you, the animals do kind of vibe. I could see that for sure. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if we've already said this. No, I think because it falls in the vein of he'll create something kooky or whatever. I think someone in this movie...
that's way too generic. We've made that prediction.
It was like the breakfast toaster thing you had said.
Yeah, where I said he'd make a Rube Goldberg machine and make somebody breakfast.
Yes, no. So I want someone in this movie to have ridiculous glasses where it has like 1,000 different lenses you can pull through and it zooms in and out or whatever. Olivia Colman. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Well, that's all, folks.
Okay. Jesus. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode. Don't watch this movie. It sucks ass. Like, do yourself a favor. Don't fucking watch this. If you do watch it and you need to tell us about it, or like, if you've seen this organically, please tell us about it, because that's fucking insane.
I want to know about it. Email us at wonkarapture@gmail.com or DM us. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Wonka Watch. That's where we want all the juicy details. You can support this podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Wonka Watch. Maybe we
back
can
for the $4 I spent renting this.
Yes. Please. Yeah. For the first time, I'm so excited to say it really is not that important. It's not that important.
I don't have any caveats to it's not that important. It's just is not that important. Thank fucking God. I hope I never have to think about this movie again.
End this chapter of my life now.
And that I'm free. I am free.
I'm a ghost as gloop as a mouse. Goodbye.